Hello, good evening, and welcome
Mm.
to the Variable Play News, where we bring you all time, every time news from the board game
Maganda,
scene.
maganda, 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 magandang gabi sa inyong lahat.
Hey, with me, I'm Denmark, and with me is.
Si Jake Fernandez po, naglilingkod at nakaupo.
at
That's good.
at ang three to tango, si Ronan po. Presenting your news this week.
Cool, cool. Hey, Jake, I'm so glad that you're back home, safe from Indianapolis.
No, yeah.
Wow.
Rough flight,
Na,
rough
tapos
flight.
na ang Jengon. Welcome home, fam.
Welcome
I,
home.
I
Grabe,
really, na-miss ko yung Jollibee. Walang Jollibee dun eh. So, alam mo naman. Yun yung una kong ginawa pag landing ko, nag-order ka ng chicken joy. But now I'm back, so I'm happy.
Wow.
Chicken joy.
Pinagrab ko na yung
Jollibee.
mga games niya. Pinagrab
Oh,
na.
cool, cool,
People
cool.
in the chat,
Thanks,
if meron
thanks,
kayong in-order sa akin, please let me know.
Yung ano, di ba meron nagpapakuha ng microwave?
Oo nga eh. Oo nga eh. Sa Abenson ko nilang binili yun. Chong, inalis ko nila yung price tag para di halata.
Cool.
Alright.
Okay. Wait, I have
Kamusta?
to, I have to.
How is kamusta to everyone? Good evening to Clint in the chat. And
Oh yeah.
who else is in the chat? Please say hello. And for another fun evening of the news. Is that what really happens when we news is fun, right? News is fun.
Hopefully
News
they
has
take
never
us
been
seriously.
this fun.
News has never been this fun.
Oh.
I don't know. I don't have any. I guess my personal news as we kinda. And if you're first time pala here on the news show, thank you for joining. What we do here is we talk about the show that happened in the last the news that in the board game world that happened in the last 2 weeks. And so if you're here, please say hi. And then also, if you have any news that you've also gotten hold of and, nalaman nyo through here, lalo na pag local news, that's something we're also very keen to hear. Please share it in the chat. We're happy to know more about it and we can talk about it. Me personally, what's happened to me, what news has been happening, did I say it already? I got the second dose of my vaccine.
Congratulations.
In our special episode.
We did on Friday our special episode. Bago ako lumipad to Indianapolis na gano'n na ako.
Siyempre, kailangan yan.
Correct. Hindi ka makalipad eh. So, good to be back and good to be on the way to recovery. How about you, Ron? What bit of personal news do you have?
Yeah. First, hi, Danilin. Hi, Ron. Welcome to the
Hi,
chat.
Ron. Hi, Danny.
Welcome to the news. So this week, what has happened?
Any
It's only
game
been a few
has
days.
happened or personal news?
Yeah, it's only been a few days since we actually went live. What have we been? I have been studying a few acres of snow.
Whoa, that's an old game, man.
That's an old game. Yeah. Because I saw it in Yucatan, right? So
Your cat
the digital
approves.
version of it. Yeah, my cat approves of a few acres of snow. So, yun, I've been studying it, playing it, and it seems interesting for an old game. It's a different kind of deck builder. It's a specific
It's a deck
two-player
building game. So that's just right up our alley.
Yeah, exactly. And I just wanted to check out how the previous, older games played out before. So yeah, it's an interesting read. It's an interesting playthrough, if I say so myself, right? So that's what I've been doing. Yeah, more of digital games actually.
You know what I remember from that game? I remember there's supposed to be like a broken strategy in that game. Do you know that? Do you know
No.
No, but I also just
no.
found out on the forums. Like I never really played
Oh,
it. But,
stop, guys! Don't
Yeah,
do
yeah.
that.
I saw
Just
it.
let
Yeah,
just let people
saw
discover
the-
things.
No, I'm not telling anybody. I don't even remember. I just know there's like a broken combo in the game. So
yeah.
FYI, you can always blame the combo when you lose.
Hello, Ron. Hello, Desky. Thank you for joining us. All right.
Oh, Desky's
So-
on. Hey, Desky.
Yes, he's on. So you guys good? You know what you should do with a few acres of snow. Ask Ron Villaver uh, to read the rule book and just listen to him while he reads it to you. The whole rule book. So that's
Yeah.
what we're gonna be doing. That's what you can ask him to do. He's right there on the chat. So there you go. Anyway, today we're gonna be reporting on a couple of Gen Con news. And sorry, Desky, it's gonna be part of the news cause that's what's causing
Yun yung
waves right
intriga,
now.
Deski. Ano ka ba? Doon tayo sa intriga.
We rarely get drama.
Intrigero kami dito. Kailangan pag-usapan yun. Ano ka ba?
But all right, so let's go to our headlines. If it's okay with you, gentlemen, you good? Yes.
Good. Let's go.
Let's
We're
go.
ready.
Headlines. Here we come.
Ganun lang
All
pala
right.
dapat.
Ganda talaga.
We're gonna be doing headlines, but before we get to the gaming goat, we're gonna be reporting a few Gen Con stories, and we're gonna be starting with.
It's
if I
actually
can
a
show my screen.
pre-Gen Con news. The first news is pre-Gen Con news.
Right.
Denmark.
All right. Here we go. I can add it now. There
Yeah,
we go.
right. So yeah, I'm pretty sure a lot of you have heard the news about Pandasaurus Games warehouse being raided by quote unquote professional thieves.
That
So
is
they were
so
able
crazy.
to so they were able to get away with I think 200 copies of the loop as well as
My
100
gosh.
copies of um,
The dinosaur game.
Dinosaur World. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So it's a
Dinosaur game.
Kickstarter. These are both Kickstarter
Forgot.
games. So we both know, we all know actually that Kickstarter games aren't as cheap as they
Yes.
used to be. And right now, I mean, the board gaming is one of the heavy hitters of Kickstarter actually. Um, they were raided. The warehouse of Pandasaurus Games was raided. Fortunately, the police got involved and they were able to trace the stolen goods.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
People actually uploaded it on eBay,
Right.
and the police
I
were
heard
able to
that.
track it down. Yeah, they were able to track it down, and yeah. So hopefully
They got the culprit?
everything. I hope everything works out though. So
Right.
wala pang update about if they caught the specific person or persons involved in this fiasco with Pandasaurus Games. But they did assure everyone that back the Kickstarter of both the Loop and Dinosaur World that they have more than enough copies to fulfill all the pledges. So don't worry
That's good.
if you are one of those people who back Dinosaur World, you will be getting your copy without delay or further delay from all the shipping
Besides
news as well.
besides
Yeah, yeah.
the delay from the container stuff and everything
Yeah,
else, you're good.
So
You're good. You guys are good.
yeah, so if you're a
They-
backer, don't fret.
These thieves didn't really think it very well through. I mean, it's interesting that they've. It's very interesting how when somebody's gonna do a heist, they thought, why don't we steal board games? and
And
that's
why
one
don't we just post it on eBay?
eBay, right? I mean,
eBay.
we're not
They-
encouraging theft in this show
Wait.
for sure, but it's also quite interesting the levels of planning they
In
did
their
this one.
defense, they
Mhm.
actually thought about it up to that point, but they never thought about the repercussions after that.
They realized, like, how do we get rid of this now?
They were
Right?
just out for a quick buck. That's it. That was the plan.
No,
Get
but
out,
of
get
all
quick
things
buck.
to steal, why board games, right? So, I mean, I have so many questions. Like, why steal board games out of so many things? Desky saying parang hindi professional. I don't know, Desky, parang hindi lang hindi professional eh. Parang hindi rin masyado pinag-isipan. So, I don't know, man, but
What were you expecting? Like money heist type of thing that they can pull off?
no,
Is
no.
it something-
I guess the way the article came out made it sound like it was like a bigger heist than it is, but it probably was a smaller petty crime, probably,
Right.
right? I don't know.
Yeah, but
Or-
I mean, kapag kinompute mo rin naman, it's a hefty price, di ba?
It is,
Right.
it is, it is.
It is.
Yeah, and I guess,
All those
yeah,
100 copies.
200
Di ba?
copies at roughly $200. Let's say
The loop. 200 the
$200,
loop.
right? Let's say. So
yeah,
it's like
yeah,
around
yeah.
40,000 US, right? If my math is correct.
Yeah, and I'm sure what Pandasaurus was thinking was like, they're like, nobody's gonna steal board games, so they're like, they didn't invest in any security of or so. Like they really didn't think that anybody was gonna steal a whole container of board games. But we now have precedent moving forward that these are actual goods that can get
Silver
stolen.
lining, everybody learned from this experience, right? Pandasaurus.
Yeah, 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 yeah. We are not encouraging theft, but we're just analyzing like the events that led to this. It's very interesting.
We dove way deep into this one, into this
Yeah,
news.
yeah, yeah. No, I don't know. I found it funny. I guess.
We're moving on. Can we move
Exactly.
on? Okay, let's move on to our next.
Yep.
And sadly, this is what Desky didn't want to hear, but we have to report it because this is news.
Yes.
So take it away, Jake.
Oh, the gaming goat. So Desky, apologies in advance if this has been going through your internet feeds the whole of 2 weeks. But for people who have been probably been lucky enough to avoid this for the last 2 weeks, the gaming goat. There's a long story behind it. So the gaming goat is a retailer of games in the US, and it's led by one CEO named Jeff Berggren. So if you remember in our previous show of 2 weeks ago, we
2 weeks ago,
reported
right.
one of the Kickstarters, Tournament Fishing, of which Ron was very excited because it was a deck builder about fishing. And that game, at that time, little did we know how much controversy that game
Was behind it,
was
right?
going to bring, actually. Because the very next day, after we reported that game on Board Game Geek, a thread was exploding. Jeff Berggren. So how is it connected? How is that Kickstarter connected to what we're reporting now? So that Kickstarter was being backed by the same company, not backed, but supported by the same company as Jeff Berggren, the gaming goat. And in that particular one of the art pieces in that game, there was a frog. It was actually a very innocuous frog, which was in no, yeah, that was
Kawawa naman yung frog.
it was, and the frog was, as per the people who saw it, felt that it was doing a white supremacist symbol. There really
Yes.
was no easier way to say it, which is
Mhm.
an OK symbol, which is something that is really is if you're quite updated with the times, that is related to the white supremacist movement. So obviously, we are trying to be what do you call this? Cognizant of everybody's perspectives and these kinds of things. We're trying to be inclusive. So when this was brought up, Jeff Berggren and the team actually vehemently, denied any of that. And they said, people are overreacting, etc. So from that, you can imagine with that kind of response, that thread exploded. That happened in September 8th. And what we are over the course of the next few days, we know
Leading
over the
to
weekend,
Gen Con.
leading to Gen Con, which happened this weekend, just this recent weekend. The Gaming Goat and Tournament Fishing was one of the vendors that were going to set up a booth in Gen Con. But because of the incident that happened with Tournament Fishing, Jeff Berggren was asked by Gen Con to no longer attend. So the headline itself was saying he was kicked out. There was no actual kicking out that happened. But Jeff was already there at Gen Con preparing for the booth. But he was asked no longer participate in Gen Con because of the, all the controversies and how he was responding to the controversies, which was, as many people were saying, quite pushbacky and quite insensitive in how he was handling the situation. So that's the, if you weren't updated, that's what's happening with this situation. It's actually it's not just one incident with this Jeff Berggren guy. He has had a long history of, coming into conflict with a lot of people in the community. So this is just, you could say, just that finally coming to
the
head.
straw that
Yep,
broke
the
the
camel's back,
camel's
right?
back.
And maybe if this guy is still in the industry, we might hear more from him. Of course, we don't like any conflict. Intrigero tayo, pero ayaw natin nag-aaway yung mga tao. So, but we're just
Yes, he
reporting the
is a
news here.
troll.
We're just
Right.
reporting the news here.
This is what's happening, and we can't help it, but we have to report it. Yes, he is a troll. If you can see that thread posted with Board Game Geek, there's a lot of incidents that happened, and you can check it out for yourself if you want to dive deep into this one. So you can see what we're talking about. Basically, it culminated in him not being able to attend Gen Con, but his company's there. That's what I heard. The
Yep.
booth was set up.
Yeah.
His
they
staff
they
was
let
there,
it go
except him.
on, right, exactly. So it was really a request, or just Gen Con practicing their anti-harassment rules
Mhm.
as per their
Mhm.
guidelines. And
Mm.
in their view, the way Jeff Berggren was handling it, and Desky put it well, Jeff has been a troll over the whole situation.
Yeah.
They felt like it was a lot of people felt unsafe with Jeff around in the Gen Con premises.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So they asked him to not attend. So, lots of drama there. I really personally hope that this is the last of what we hear, and people just figure out, for us, everybody
Talk
to get
things like
along.
adult.
Yeah, and be more respectful of everybody. But we'll see. We from what we understand, again, we're a news team. We're just reporting what we see. We've heard there's a lot of incidents with Jeff in previous, like a lot of incidents
Yeah.
already in previous times. So we don't know. We'll report as more things happen.
Sure.
Hopefully, less
Yes.
escalations happen.
Hopefully, we don't report it, but if we do, we are going to. Okay.
Yes.
Thanks, thanks, Jake. Next, still in Gen Con, and this is the first convention that they held right in the US, where it's face to
First,
face
Correct.
first
after
physical, yes.
two
So
years.
face to
Yes.
face.
They run it, but right now there are crowds left worried despite safety guidelines that they did. So they were saying, remember that before we went online, I was telling Jake that about this story, and it involves the running of the nerds. That's what they call it, bro. That's what they said here in this article.
Maka-cancel tayo dito eh. Hindi tayo nerds. Pero sige.
That's what they said. That's what they called it. So I'm just quoting it from where we saw it. It's from Dice Breaker. See, there you go. So if you want
To be fair, as I
It's
told
right
you also,
there.
I participated in the running of the nerds when I was in Gen Con like a couple of years back.
So, you know about how quickly COVID can be spread, quickly it could be passed on, and people were saying this is our first convention. It will be a precedent, or people will look up to this one on
Correct.
how they're going to be handling the next conventions. SN will be up next, and they were saying people are still not following um guidelines on how to do the proper procedure, social distancing. They were all together before the gates opened. They were holding everything, and I saw other posts that they were saying, "Hey, friends who are at Gen Con, eat at your hotel rooms, stay away, and when you get home at your homes, quarantine yourselves." That's how bad it actually is right now with them. So
Mm.
I hope they could get better. And we're also watching this one because in the Philippines, we're waiting for the go signal so that we could do our Bacon convention, board game advocates enthusiast convention. And if this is how it's gonna be, we might be quite some time until we can hold our own convention, unless we really adhere to strict protocols and the right way to handle the COVID virus.
Yeah. COVID is still very real, folks, and quite scary. So it's always good to err on the side of caution, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
So if
exactly.
you can see on the picture, they're all together, holding on the rails, very close to one another. I mean, I don't
Mhm.
know. I won't be surprised if there's another wave coming in the
Hopefully
U.
not. Hopefully not.
Hopefully
But
not. But
but I think it's also, I mean, the whole way that the US has been handling COVID is not just here in Gen Con, right? This is like a general thing that they've been quite confident in reopening a lot of establishments, even
Mhm.
movie theaters, for
Exactly.
example, right?
Right.
We can't watch Shang-Chi, guys, but they can. Which is
They
quite
can.
disappointing.
Free guy
But
too.
yes, exactly. But I don't mind because it's all about being safe. But as I'm saying, the US obviously has a very different perspective when it comes to handling the
And
COVID.
there's still a few days before the release of Dune, so I'm still hoping um, we can watch it the same time or at least the same period
Yeah.
as the US or the overseas
Well,
industry.
well,
So yeah.
yeah.
Cool. All right.
Jesky is saying some illegal things on chat. We
we
won't
can't. We can't.
we
We
won't
can't. We can't
support
mention
any
it
of these illegalness,
publicly.
Desky. And the people in the chat are saying they prefer to be called geeks, not nerds. Kasi nga sabi ko
Yes, I know. We
Desky,
are.
nerds should have good
We are
grades.
geeks. All right, so let's take a pause with the Gen Con news and let's get into someone who's publishing new games, right? Someone who's new into this publishing
Fairly
game.
new.
Oh
Ron?
yeah, yeah. So game trays, as you all know, if you do have a copy of, for example, Wingspan, and when you opened that box, you saw this very pretty blue tray that housed your bird cards. You will be very familiar with game trays. So they're very well known, especially to the um, Kickstarter community,
Mm-hmm.
of how well they work with different publishers for their inserts, for their plastic inserts, right?
Mm-hmm. They
Um,
look so nice too, right?
so yeah, aside from being nice, most of their or some of their inserts are actually functional. So
Yes.
so that's a plus, right? So that's a plus. So for example, in New Wingspan, as I mentioned a while ago, you also use the tray
To hold the three
as
cards,
the
right?
market. Yeah, as a
Right.
market for your bird cards. Yeah. So aside from from functional storage, they will be coming up with a game of an in-house game. So it's called Forsaken, as you can see in the screen. The game is a narrative. It's a narrative-driven game, action point allowance, and you will be progressing the game through this world they're bringing
They're world
forward.
building
So
right now, right? I think they're gonna
yes,
base most of their games from this one.
It's very Mad Maxy. It
yes,
looks very Mad Maxy. For lack of a
yes.
better term.
It looks yeah, well, post-apocalyptic, if you can if you can say, right?
That's a lot of
So
IPs, but okay.
yes, it's a lot of IP. Correct. So who made Forsaken? If I'm not mistaken, there's Travis.
Chance. Is it
He's
Travis
also
Chance?
responsible. Yes, yes, yes. He's also responsible for that game, which I have
That we like. The
here.
game that we like. I know.
Exactly.
You planned this. You
Oh,
planned this all
I
along. You
planned
planned
it
this.
all along.
Oh wow. Path of Light and
Yeah,
Shadow.
so
Yes,
Right.
guess what, guys? It's another deck builder.
It's a good.
with
It's a good
area
deck builder.
control, see?
But
Yeah,
but I
there,
have a
so
question for Forsaken, guys. Who's gonna make
mhm.
their inserts?
and we and all of the community is expecting a lot for the insert of Forsaken. If it
Jeez.
can be made, if it can be made of plastic and
Who's
not
gonna make them?
cardboard, they're probably gonna do it. Yeah, just
I get
imagine the dice tray from Tidal Blades, that kind of level.
I can
Yeah,
already imagine the reviews for this game. It's like, okay, the game's okay, the game is fine, but the inserts are
inserts
amazing.
are amazing.
They bring out the game. They're the best thing.
I buy the
Cool.
game for the insert. Yeah, yeah,
That's a first. That would be a first. Let's see if that
yeah,
happens.
yeah.
But
So I
hopefully
hope
this
it pans
picks up
out
for them.
for game trades. Yeah, I hope it
Yeah,
pans out for
right.
game trades.
Cool. Cool.
That's it.
All right. Next for RPG, we have the Call of Cthulhu 40th anniversary. The
Whoa.
RPG's 40th
This
anniversary.
looks
Dude, it's 40
actual.
years.
This looks actually occult. This actual thing.
Occultic. It looks occultic.
Yeah,
It
it feels
actually looks like
scary.
a tomb, doesn't it?
So,
Yeah.
so it was released in 1981, guys. It started 1981.
Call of
Where
Cthulhu.
yes, the Call of
Wow.
Cthulhu. This game was started in 1981. And of course, it's now 40 years. And before they were using D100s or two 10-sided dice to resolve tests when players are checking for skills. So that's and and
Mm-hmm.
in the ad before during that time, right? D&D fantasy was the one that was in high gear, and then you're gonna be
All the
playing
rage.
yes, and then you're
Exactly
gonna
in the
be
80s.
playing a role where you are a professor of
Investigator. An investigator.
investigator, and you're a weakling. And it is far off from an adventurer, and I think that's what got people into it and got interested into this game. So right now they have the 40th, and this will be a limited edition rule book, and it will not be. I know this will be only in limited quantities,
Yeah.
and it's gonna be the seventh edition, oh eighth edition since 24. I think that's the one that they're going to be using. So if you're interested with this one, I know it's pre-launch at Gen Con, and then it will be officially released next month, but stay tuned for the price because they haven't said anything about the prices yet. But
Mm-hmm.
this looks really, really occultic and nice. I mean,
Premium.
I'm gonna get this
Very,
even if I don't play.
very nice Starbucks planner. This one. No, sorry, just gave me that vibe. Sorry. Like, oh, malapit na yung Pasko,
with with
Mag-Starbucks
with
planner na
ten
tayo.
with tentacles and like decagram stars and circles and I mean
Instead of
fine,
using all that money to buy Starbucks stuff, you save all that money and just buy this.
right, and it's
Yeah.
commemorative, right? So it's gonna be a rare thing, I think, because you rarely
Yeah.
get to 40 years. So if you're interested in the Call of Cthulhu, maybe you want to check this out. And now we're gonna be uh, going back to Gen Con, and I like this story because it gives me hope,
It
and
gives
hopefully it gives
you
you hope
hope.
also.
Gives you hope.
Um, the Nigerian board game company called Nibgard won the Diana
Mm.
Jones 2021 award. And what is this Diana Jones award? It's an award given to people, not the games, not the award, not the design games, but to people who help build up board gaming. And isn't that nice, right?
Mm.
So you see this guy who his name is, wait, let's not butcher this. Kenechukwu Ogbuagu. I hope I said that right. It was right
First
there.
two syllables pa lang, you failed na. So,
You
Kene-
failed.
Kenechukwu
See?
Ogbuagu. I'm
He's
sorry,
mad
but
at
I'm
you.
happy. He
yeah.
founded this one in 2013, where he started a publishing company in order to support Nigerian board game creators. And right now they have
Galing.
33 titles. And they were doing it at like their home base. There was no factory, as you can
Yeah,
see
yeah.
here in
I
this picture. They were
remember they're very active in the TBG
I was gonna say the same.
um
That I see
Facebook
them
group,
there often. Yep.
Facebook group. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. So
and
so
everybody supports them. So that's
and Gen Con recognized what they were doing. They actually also started a board game convention since 2016, and maybe it ran for 3 years before COVID hit. But things like this give me hope for the Philippines, where maybe our Bacon can actually evolve into something like this, where we could sponsor local games and just push
mhm.
out people. I mean, push out into the world ideas, games from local designers. Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe,
Yeah.
but kudos to
Very
Nibcard.
interesting. I think most of their designs are also unique, right? I think as Ron
Mm,
was saying, they like these people, the Nigerians are quite active in the Facebook groups for board games,
yeah.
and they
Mhm.
keep on posting like their game nights and actually their original designs. They keep on sharing
Yes.
it. So
Mm.
quite interesting, right? And
Yeah.
the second thing I
Hopefully.
was gonna say, where is your award, Denmark, for promoting Philippine board game? Where's your
I
award?
don't. I don't. What? Oh wait.
Wala pa,
Moving
Let's
on.
wala
give
pa,
Next.
wala
Denmark
pa.
an award.
Wala
Let's
pa,
give
wala pa.
Denmark an award, a
Give this
makeshift
man
award.
an award.
Okay, guys. We're moving on. And finally, all of those happy news, we're gonna be doing a sad news, and this is gonna be reported by Jake.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is the next headline. It's about Ruben Klamer. I hope I'm pronouncing his name. Is it Klamer?
No, you
Klamer? But
butchered him too.
Ruben Klamer is the creator of Game of Life, and Game of Life is widely, as far as statistics goes, it's probably the second most popular board game after
Right.
Monopoly, and probably the
It's right up
most
there, right?
in terms of sales, second only to Monopoly and all its variants, obviously. So Ruben Klamer was a designer of Game of Life, and he passed away on September 14th, just a couple of
Oh,
I guess a week ago.
eight
He was
days
not
ago.
8 days ago, and he was 99. Um, yeah, and obviously,
That's not so bad.
it's not so bad, but obviously still a huge loss to
Yes.
for such an
The
iconic figure
community,
and his
yeah, the
contribution to the industry. But again, I guess the news we're reporting is really to celebrate an icon that probably we haven't talked about in a long time, but this is his, I guess, one we get to talk about him again once more. Game of Life, quite a huge game, and we were just talking about it. Living all the way up to 99 means this guy probably played the game of life, the real game of life, probably
The
real.
correct way.
view.
He
Yeah,
won.
he rolled a lot of sixes.
so kudos to a life well lived to Ruben Klamer, and obviously the game of life will outlive him and still be enjoyed by many more generations to come.
Agreed.
Yes.
Probably gonna
So
outlive him.
it was a low hanging fruit, but kudos for 99 years. All right. Those are our headlines. And if you have other headlines that you would like us to talk about, please send it to us on the Variable Play page. Just right there. Hey, something for the news, and we're going to be reading it. But right now, we're going to be going to our next segment, which is called the board game announcements.
Announcement.
Cool. Take it away, Ron. You're going to be the one who's going to be doing
Right.
this.
Yeah. So first up, paleo. If you're not aware of what paleo is, it won. Tama, diba? It won, right?
It won
So
Kenner.
exactly.
There.
So,
It won 2021. Kinner Spiel.
Kenner Spiel.
exactly. So baka mamaya mali pala yung announcement ko. But yes, so paleo, if you're not aware, is a game, is a award-winning board game recently released by Z-Man at the US, but it's published by Hans im Gluck
Mhm.
in the
Stone Age.
European shores. Yeah, Stone Age, exactly. They will be releasing their first expansion for Paleo, which is called A New Beginning, if I'm not mistaken. It's called A New Beginning. And so far, only Hans im Gluck has posted this update. Z-Man Games has not yet updated their
Ah,
site, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
exclusive. Exclusive for us.
So yeah, if you're aware as to how to play Paleo, this will be introducing new um, dangers, new risks. So it comes after a few years of settling down in Paleo, and then there are new dangers to your tribe and your family, whatever. And so that's how this expansion will be working out for Paleo.
I think it's gonna be released there, right there. Spiel 2021, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That's a few
During
months.
Spiel,
Special.
yeah, yeah,
Not next
Okay,
month,
Spiel.
October, right? So
End
that's
of
next month.
October.
yeah.
Cool.
Mid
So
October pala, sorry.
if you're a fan of Paleo, haven't played it yet. Who has a copy? You
It's
guys
Have
have a
it's
copy?
been out of print in a lot of
That
online
quick?
stores.
My gosh.
Well, the moment it won Kenner Spiel, it went out of print in a lot. I mean, sorry, sold out in a lot of stores.
Mhm.
We're
So
waiting for reprints right now, right?
yep, we're on the second ship, the second batch being printed in China probably.
So there you go. Paleo. A new beginning. All right.
Expansion. Yeah, expansion.
Expansion, a new beginning. All right. Next, I have to report this. If you're a fan of the Netflix series The Queen's Gambit, well, guess what? Now the IP has a board game. And guess what it's about? I'll give you one guess.
It's about the Queen's Gambit.
It's about chess. And you're going to be playing chess. But wait, you're not going to be playing normal chess. You're going to be programming and placing down three cards all at the same time, programming your next three steps on what move you're going to make in chess. Do
Just
you
like the
see
show.
what's happening here?
That's like
just,
show.
just like the show. That's exactly what happened in the show.
Why don't you just play chess? That's my point. I mean, that's how you play chess. But you're gonna be playing cards, putting down three cards. To, I don't know. But if you're interested, I just found that funny. That dude, you want to play chess? Play chess. Don't
Yeah,
don't play that three.
favorite ko, didn't you watch episode 3 when Beth Harmon thought, three steps ahead and then
I know.
surprised his opponent? So this is exactly it.
It's pre-programming game, and I think you're trying to build a pattern on how you're supposed to do it, and that's how you win. And you're playing it four players. I've heard of 4D chess, 3D chess, and from Big Bang Theory, four-player chess in one table. I
Board.
mean, in one
Yeah,
chessboard.
what is-
I have no idea.
This
But
is so,
if you're
this is so
interested,
meta. No, this is so meta. It's a board game about a board game.
board game.
It's like Millennium Blades, di ba? Millennium Blades is a board game about the
About
card
board-
games.
opening packs.
Yeah, then this is exactly that. Come on, guys. Let's give this a chance.
It says 15 minutes, so it's gonna be a quick game. So let's see how this would go. But I just found it funny that you have to play something else to play chess. That's what got me.
It continues our streak of controversy. This Queen's Gambit isn't it in a controversy right now about someone suing Netflix?
What
the
happened?
creator of Queen's Gambit.
Did they steal the
Yeah.
idea?
For what?
I just saw the article.
Parang
there's
this is someone saying na parang yung story daw niya. Parang ganun.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's based
Story
on-
of
we
her
don't-
life? And then they used it in the movie? Is that it?
No, we don't know. We'll report it
We
next,
don't know,
next
but
week
yes.
when we find. If anybody in the chat knows.
We have pending news because we're all intrigueros.
Oh.
Okay, so there you go. If you're interested in that IP, well, here's your game, The Queen's Gambit. Soon, it's gonna be coming out soon from Mixlore Games. So keep an eye out on it. And next, if you're a fan of Seven Wonders, Jake has news for you.
Well, you just called me the fan of Seven Wonders. So I am the one of those fans of Seven Wonders. And in 2021, I guess also released in Gen Con or soft released in Gen Con, they are releasing a new game set in the same universe called Seven Wonders Architects, also designed by the same designer, Antoine Bauza. So the whole concept of Seven Wonders Architects is it's supposedly a simpler and more streamlined version of Seven Wonders, which is interesting because
That's called Duels.
wasn't Seven Wonders supposed to be simple and streamlined already? But I guess people want their streamliner NES games, so they're gonna ask for more.
From the picture of what I'm seeing, it looks like Shades of Duels.
It is. So I've seen the reviews, I've seen the gameplay videos. It's actually it has the card flipping mechanic of Seven Wonders Duels, when you're selecting a card from a display. In this case, you're just selecting it either from potentially three spots on the game board or in the game area. So and then when you pick a card, you execute its actions. And then that's what everybody does around the table. I think it can play up to from 2 to 6. Very interesting. They didn't go over-
2 to 7.
2 to 7 ba? Okay. So because
Yes.
2 to 7, just like the original Seven Wonders. So again, a lot of it is very similar to the original Seven Wonders.
So there's no more take one and pass. It's
There's not.
draft one and activate, right?
Draft one, activate, and then go around the table. So, and then as one interesting thing about this game is, as you can see in the picture, you're actually building a wonder from so if you play, like, I think this is the Alexandra one, I think. So
The Library
you-
of Alexandria.
Library of Alexandra one. So if you can see here, I think this is one where it's almost built. but when you start the game, these tiles
Starts
that
with
is
a base,
actually,
yeah.
yeah, this one is actually made from
Interesting.
different pieces. Now you can start flipped on the other side, and then as you build more, you flip
Yeah,
them
yeah,
to
you
the
flip
other
it
side.
over. Yeah.
So it's got the same
Interesting.
mechanisms as Seven Wonders, the original, but again, just a twist, just in a bit of some of the mechanics that they picked up from Duel. So I'm looking forward to this more streamlinier Seven Wonders.
Cool. Cool.
But
Next.
actually,
Okay, go on, Ron.
as I was, yeah, yeah, as I was looking at it, one thing I really loved about the original or the second edition Seven Wonders is actually the art
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
on the cards, on the cards themselves. So looking at the cards now, with very actually it's just a white background and mostly people on the front. So I actually like that about the original Seven Wonders, and
The art,
I'm
yeah.
interested how
Looks
they
cleaner, right?
took their. It looks cleaner, but I still prefer the busier look of
Full
Mm-hmm.
body,
Seven Wonders.
full card art, di ba? Yung original Seven
Yeah, exactly.
Wonders.
Full card art. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
This
Yeah,
one
but
is
I
just
agree with you. They're like streamlining it, and I guess along with the streamlining is in that sense, you want to take away all of the other distractions from the cards.
or I have a
Focus.
feeling that they do it
Focus.
like this because they're planning for future expansions.
Hmm.
So they leave
Yeah,
the
yeah,
complexity in future expansions. So they leave a very basic game in the base game.
yeah.
That's how
Right.
I
Mm.
assume.
Cool. I hope they don't limit
That's
it to 7 expansions. Anyway, next game. We have our next game, and it's an expansion. Another expansion.
I am
another
the I am the
expansion.
guy of expansions. Ginkgopolis is a game that I
Couple.
guess we didn't report this, but this is a reprint of an game that got released in, I'd like to say, more than 5 years already, and was out of print for a
Yeah.
long time. Ginkgopolis is designed by the same design team as Troa, right? So Xavier Georges and I forget the other name, Alain or Bain, I think was the other one.
Yeah.
Um,
So
and
I
weird
really enjoyed it.
from a very earlier time in history to very fast forward,
yeah,
way into the
yeah,
future.
but this is a very different type of game. This is a tile drafting game wherein you are trying to
Mm,
put together a central suburbia type board. You know
Yeah.
how suburbia works, where you're trying to
yeah.
build a
Mhm.
city.
Expand,
Here,
right?
it's more of a central suburbia board that everybody is building together and trying to scoring opportunities. And
Mm-hmm.
then when they reprinted the base game, I say more than a year ago now, they didn't reprint the expansion with it, but now they are. So the experts is actually composed of 5 to 6 modules that you can mix and match when you play your base game of Ginkgopolis. So that's nice because
Mm-hmm.
aside from the base game being out of print for a long time, this was also out of print. As with most expansions, very hard to find. So now we're
Mm-hmm.
gonna get this, and I'm very excited.
Cool. Cool.
Yeah.
I
I
have
remember
one here.
we really enjoyed this game.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Haven't played it.
Ron crushed me in this game. So
Oh, that's why I
I
enjoyed it. Cool.
babanse pa ako, babanse pa ako.
That's why I enjoyed it. All right. That's the experts from Ginkopolis. Pearl Games. All right. Next is Plan B coming out with another one. Another one.
Another
Another
one.
one. Another one.
So I guess hot on the heels of them announcing that they've sold 2 million copies of Azul, right?
Azul.
Or
Yeah.
is what? It's probably 2 million, right? It's much less. Much. I think it's 2 million copies. Can you check, please, sir?
Almost.
Good.
Almost 2 million.
Almost 2 million copies of Azul. They are announcing what I believe is the third base game expansion for Azul, right? There was the Stained Glass of Sintra, and then there was the other
Fourth.
one,
Summer
Summer
Pavilion.
Summer
Pavilion.
Pavilion, and this is the
Which
third
one do
one.
you guys like among the three? I like the third one. Summer
No,
Pavilion was really
okay,
good.
you mean like the third release, so Summer
Yeah.
Pavilion, yeah.
Mm.
I haven't played either of the variants actually. I played mostly the base game, but I've heard good things about that Summer Pavilion one. So I want to
This
Mm.
try
one.
it. So this will be the fifth technically the fifth release and the fourth expansion based game for Azul that can be played standalone. It's called Queen's Garden. And as you can see, the shapes have changed again. It's hexagonal tiles with symbols on them. And just like in I've seen some gameplay of it already. It's some form of drafting again that you're gonna be doing. But as with every iteration of Azul, they keep on making it quite a different game from the previous one, right? So it seems this will be just one of those games that is a tile drafting game, but they thought it would be nice to use the Azul brand on it.
I
So
think I
that's
think it
good
has
start.
a Sudoku component where, from what I've heard and what I saw, you're gonna be building a garden, but you cannot use certain tiles where you're gonna be building your garden, something like that.
Mm.
They were saying
Mm.
it's a gamers Azul. It's a gamers game. Azul Queen's Garden will be something like that. So I don't know. I'm interested because I liked
I like
Azul
that.
and
Yep.
Summer Pavilion. So Summer Pavilion has if you pull it off, there will be a lot of combos happening. So I want to see how
Ooh.
the drafting in Queen's Garden would work and how the blocking will be, because that's how Azul is played, right? You're blocking other people from getting the
Ay, hindi.
tiles that they need,
Kami, pag
or
nag-Azul kami, mabait kami. Hindi kami
give
katulad
them
nila.
Oo nga
everything
eh.
that they need, right? Like 10 of
Oo.
everything that they need.
Minus 20 points for you.
So it's interesting. We'll
Uh,
see what happens in Queen's Garden.
Yeah.
Denmark's just waiting for the hidden identity variant.
Where you get to lie. Lie about the tiles that you have.
Do you have a green wheat? No. All
May
right.
screen, may player screen na.
I think you are the killer and you have the green tile.
Speaking of killers, our next game will be from Prospero Hall and Funko Games, and
Yeah, so
there is no news about this except this one. It's a legacy game by
yeah,
Prospero Hall on summer 2022. There isn't even a working title for it yet. It's just Jurassic World
yeah, the
Legacy.
working title is not yet up, right? But they did release a
A
30
small fig.
second trailer. No, a
They did.
trailer. Yeah, a
Mhm.
trailer in YouTube. Yeah, so go check it out. And as you would expect from a Jurassic Park game, the trailer started
Dinosaurs?
off with this, yeah,
No.
with a muddy T-Rex footprint and the vibrations. Yeah, so it's a typical ano. And again, this is a legacy game, as you would expect. It will be running the book series up to the Jurassic World series of games.
Ooh.
So
Oh,
that's how it's going to
okay.
build up.
Okay.
That's how it's going to build up the legacy aspect of the game. But in terms of gameplay, they have not really released any,
Nothing, right? Nothing.
details about it. Whether it's a worker placement game, whether if it's I don't know, a narrative driven kind of game.
So you can
Nothing. It's
level
just
up Jeff Goldblum.
it's just an all new original legacy game
What's
experience.
your favorite
Quote
scene
unquote.
in all of Jurassic Park? Like, what is your favorite like moment? Give one.
Uh,
I'll start. Ako favorite ko yung
yeah.
scene where they
No,
nakawala
don't
yung
tell
ano,
me no.
yung nakawala yung ano, yung ganon.
Yung mataba.
Oh, exactly. Ano ba yung role? Pareho tayo ng scenes. Ang dami ko inisip na scenes, ha. I had like three scenes in my mind.
You
Tapos
guys
yun yung pinili-
should
Samuel
separate
L. Jackson ba yung isa?
seriously.
Ano? Ay, hindi. Yung
Samuel L.
other,
Jackson,
yung other favorite ko yung Triceratops eh. Yung Triceratops na may pupu.
The one dying, right?
Oh, exactly.
I like the one where the banners are
Ayun,
falling in front of the T-Rex, and like
T-Rex.
T-Rex is
Ah,
like,
sa
I want
ending.
this universe. I want
ending,
this
sa ending.
universe.
Yeah.
Cool. So there you go. So look out. That's gonna be next year, around September. Also, if that's summer 2022 in the US, that's gonna be around September, somewhere there.
Yep.
So there you go. Next is a new game that just released, and it's from Yellow. It's Korra, Rise of an Empire. It's making waves right now.
Oh, yeah. I've seen this.
It is making waves right now, and it is a re-implementation. They say of Polis. I forgot how to say it. It's that game. They're re-implementing it, but maybe making it more streamlined in the theme that we're being
Yeah.
talking
Yeah.
about,
Stream-
streamlinier.
Streamliner. That's an
Streamline
actual
game.
word now.
So it says
Streamliner.
here in the description, it's up to you to develop faster, better than your opponents in political choices in each round, philosophy, legislation. So it's a civ building game. Culture, trade, military will shape the future of your city. Optimize your dice rolls, collect taxes, send army to colonize foreign lands, unlock achievements. That's it. So it's a civ game. That's what you're doing here. It looks interesting. Um,
Dice. But
the
no
one thing
map.
that no map. I think you're trying to get achievements. That's what
Mm.
you're trying to score. That's how you're gonna score with this game.
Yeah.
So if you're interested, the art looks nice. It looks clean. I mean, the how it's set up looks clean. Not really distracting with things that you're not supposed to see. It's right there. The graphics are right there. So if you're interested with this one, give it a try. Korra: Rise of an Empire. And we're going back to Gen Con with Jake because he went there in
Ooh.
Janapolis. so so
Yes.
here's there you
Yes, I
go.
did. Yes, I did. And one of the big things that always people look forward to in Gen Con is the FFG in-flight report, which is
In
basically their version of bragging what they have for coming up for the next year, and exciting people of their lineup of games. And for a long time, actually, when FFG during its heyday, this was like one of the biggest events in Gen Con. I got to attend it once. Pretty cool. Pretty. Christian Peterson, when he was still leading the team, owned the company.
yeah.
He would lead it, and he was like, he knows they're the best publisher at that time. But I guess since then, FFG has been less and less and less of one of those big publishers. But still, they produce good games. So I'm just gonna highlight some of their big announcements during their in-flight report in Gen Con. Again, it's also we have to take into account this is a Gen Con that we were just having coming back from like being canceled last year, right? It was only an online Gen Con.
Mhm.
So, some people felt disappointed with their announcements, but I felt they were good. So I think chief among what they announced was a new Keyforge called
So
Expansion
forward. No,
Keyforge,
sorry.
Winds of
Key Forge.
Exchange. It's
Okay.
supposed to be like a merchanty type theme that they have. And then, of course, they announced that the Arkham Horror previous
Yes.
expansions, LCGs, are gonna be
Mhm.
repackaged into this new SKU that they have. Right, moving forward, they said they're gonna let go of the clamshell design of the expansions, and
Oh,
instead they're
okay.
just gonna release big box expansions that is worth one whole story, right? Usually they would
One whole
split
arc.
across, correct. Usually they would split across six clamshell packs.
Yes.
So they're gonna do that
Finally,
for
no
the
more plastic.
exactly. We're saving. We're being nice to the earth now. So Dunwich Legacy is gonna get reprinted in that new format. And then Lord of the Rings
Mm.
is also the LCG is gonna get reprinted in that format also. So
Wow.
I'm looking
Okay.
forward to
Okay.
that. The Lord of the
Wow,
Rings
wow.
card
Uh-huh.
game, which has been hard to find for a long, long time because it's an old game. It's almost 10 years now. I just realized. So they're gonna reprint it using that new format. There's a new Marvel Champions expansion, Sinister Motives. And if you haven't followed, it's about the Sinister Six and it's about Spider-Man. So
No.
yeah, exactly. So there's gonna be Doc Ock, there's gonna
You
be
don't say.
Sandman, there's Venom, and then I saw there's a Miles Morales
Scorpion,
and a
Electro.
Gwen Stacy Spider-Man. So that's
Cool.
really amazing.
Oh, is it gonna
And
be released
lastly,
alongside
sorry, yeah.
alongside the movie?
I would
It
assume.
might. It might be. That's December, so it might come out.
I would assume. I would assume. Usually they announce games that are coming out for the holidays here in this in-flight report. And lastly, I just want to highlight an expansion for Outer Rim is finally happening called Unfinished Business. A
Mm-hmm.
game that sorely needed an expansion right from the beginning is finally getting an expansion. So lots of games still, right? So I don't know. I was excited about it, but
Yeah.
some people felt quite disappointed.
Well, it's final. It's Fantasy Flight. I was excited for Unfathomable. That one right on the left.
Yeah. Yun yung
Mm.
So
pag yun yung pag hindi ka natataba.
all right, moving on.
Fathomable.
That's why we're losing viewers. And moving on.
Make your jokes funnier, sabi ni...
Thank you for reporting about FFG's in-flight report
Direct
and
Denmark.
summing up.
Sabi ni Direct Denmark.
Mark,
So,
make your jokes funnier. Bring the Tito jokes.
finally, for
Mm.
you beer lovers, we're gonna be having a talk about beers and board game and beers, huh? What? Board game and beers? Yes, it's
Oh, I
called
love
What?
this.
Catan
I
Beers.
love this.
Oh,
Dude,
cheap
name
flavored beer.
name any other board game that has beers. None.
There's a
You can
lot, dude. So sorry,
there
beer
are
themed marami. Beer
beer
themed
themed,
wala.
yes, but
Ah,
with
okay.
beers itself, there's gonna be none. I dare you. There's none, right? So
I don't
this
think
is gonna
so.
be a collector's item. Believe it or not, you have to sign up as a member for $50 per month before you can get any of this. This won't be sold anywhere. So there's gonna be six. There's gonna be six different flavors, one for each. I think terrain that Catan has. So it's gonna come out one. They don't know when it's gonna come out, but like I said, you have to be a member, and they're just gonna deliver the beer in your doorstep. They don't know how it's gonna be distributed or what flavor will come
Sounds
out
dubious.
first. but but if you're interested, the fields will be wheat beer, the pastures will be rye, mountains will be a German Schwarzbier, the forest biome will be an IPA, the hills will be Altbier, and the last spot could either go to the desert or ocean tiles, and no one knows what it is yet. But there you go. That's six
Oh,
different
we have fan.
flavors.
Keep on doing your jokes. Aya said she likes our jokes, so we should.
Tito jokes.
Yeah, I get Tito joke. So thanks, Aya, for
Thanks.
supporting us.
So
We'll send
there
the
you
beer
go.
on your. Oh.
We'll send the
Eh,
beer. to
Wait,
you.
but seriously, guys, what do you think about this? About Catan official
I'm all
beer?
for
I
it.
mean,
I'm all for it. I've always thought that board games is a natural partner. Is an activity that can be naturally partnered with beer. So I think this is quite genius, actually. um, I mean, putting aside the fact that people don't want drinks on the table when they're playing board games, right? But I think I feel like they felt there was a cross what do you call this, cross demographic between people who drink beer
people play board games
people who
and
play
beer.
board games. Yeah.
How about you, Ron?
I
You're gonna
suppose.
buy this if it ever comes
I
out?
suppose they have. Probably not.
Ako lang pala.
Pero hindi, I mean, if they included this in the very exclusive deluxe Catan release,
The $300 3D version of Catan? My
why
gosh.
not, right?
Why not?
Send
Sure.
in six beers of different flavors, right? Buti hindi sila based dun sa sa resources, no? Like sheep beer, uh,
Hindi, yun yung ano.
That'd be weird. Wood
Papunta
beer,
pa lang
brick
tayo
beer,
doon. Yun yung
brick
ano.
beer,
They're about to release
yung ex-
food and food
rubber,
products.
rubber beer. How would that work?
Food products.
All right. So there you go. Those are our board game announcements. Some of them are not board games, but board game related. And if you have any of those, just send it to us again. And if you have that, you
Yeah.
can type it in the comments. If we missed something, we're gonna be researching on that and reporting on that 2 weeks from now. And now we're gonna be going to our final segment, which are our crowdfunding picks.
Yan na.
You're late. You're late, bro. We're here. We're back. Take it away, Ron or Jake.
wait,
Whoever.
wait.
I'm first, I think. I need my
Ah,
video.
go.
Do I have a video? So we're gonna watch
Don't
my
have a
my
video.
pick for this week is a game
gonna
called
be-
Dungeons of
Yes.
Infinity.
Yes.
Technical
I don't have that
difficulties. Okay, so we don't have that video. So ayoko na, hindi ko na siya pick. No, but maybe we can project
this is
something
on this is on Kickstarter, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
Working
gonna
on it.
share.
Just
Sige. So I'm gonna talk through it a bit. It's sort of a fantasy based game which you can solo, which is a big huge appeal to me. And because of these times, it's very hard to get games together. And
Yep.
it's my understanding is you get to play a certain classes in the game. There's like at least four that come with the base game. More if you buy expansions, from what I understand. And in it, you're just trying to play through a campaign, and you're trying to upgrade your character through like a dashboard system for your character. It's very
All right.
it's very quite. It's almost like stat building type of game, and build a bit of ability
Mm-hmm.
building, stat building type of game, which is common among RPGs. I guess what's unique with this particular game is each of the classes, from what I understand, is a different storyline. So you can play one
Mm.
storyline, and then one of the classes go through a storyline or go through the missions, and then restart with a different character, go through its storyline, through its missions. So that's quite interesting for me. So you see here, Dungeons of Infinity. What does it say? Cooperative, solo, and
Story
what does it
mode,
say?
all included.
Solo and story mode all included.
Mm.
So that's it. This was
Interesting.
all
That's
I
interesting.
found out about this from this channel called One Stop Co-op Shop, being run by this guy named Colin, and then he has his partner. This was his one of his top 10 games in 2020. So now they're doing a Kickstarter again, and I'm keen to join and throw my money
Wow.
at it.
Okay. Okay.
Shut
Yes,
up
and
and
I'll
take
be
my
able to play
money.
it. And I'll be able to play with it.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
That's a great advantage of friends, right? Oh, you have that copy? Okay, I won't buy it anymore.
Exactly.
Wait, did you just say that this is the
Smart.
great advantage of friends that you get to? I thought I thought it was
I thought
camaraderie.
friendship,
I thought
friendship was the reason for
No,
friends.
no,
exactly.
no. It's
I thought it
using
was
your friends.
I thought it was
Using your
human
friends for board
connection. That
games.
was
No,
the great advantage of friendship.
no, no, no. You got that all wrong. It's playing
Oh,
board games with your friends who owns the games that you don't own.
Yes.
it just happens to be games are multiplayer activities, so this is the great advantage of friends. You have
Yeah.
warm bodies to
Right.
play games with.
Well,
You need to
but
find at least
people
like
who can
7 or 8 of
converse
your
with.
friends, right?
So
Cool.
so that's Dungeons of Infinity. That it's a soloable game actually. So people who are looking for solo games, this is something you
And
can check out.
that's good right now during this pandemic. Cool, cool, cool. Next will be from Asmadi
Cool.
Games.
Right. Yeah. So let me this one.
From the game perfectionizers of Braxicon. We've taken your splendiferous Earth game, one deck dungeon, and put it into our game
Streamline
analysis
here
engine.
and Splendiferous.
It's consumed
Streamline
over 8
it.
billion pieces of information to enact the perfect changes, like sending it into space.
What?
We've heard all your feedback. Low rolls, bad luck, no problem. Even your least accomplished chance cubes can now be used usefully.
I love how
in
90s
our
the ad
shiny
is.
new Star
It's like old
Exactly.
school 90s.
But why stop there? Defy simple mathematics. Make
Parang
every
VHS.
Why?
Parang nasa VHS na ad.
otherwise. You can have an adversary to oppose you all game long. Race to contain the hungry nebula. Face off against the Neebelwooba colony
That's a black
fleets.
hole.
Battle the optimization calibrator. Aid the preservation.
There you go. See, told you, black hole. It's done?
Yeah.
That was it? No.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically, it's another series from the One Deck Dungeon team. They're moving out into space. So,
they need to conquer space now.
yeah, exactly, with a more streamlined gameplay, but in the same manner as Jake mentioned a while ago, it's a solo or two-player game, cooperative
Mhm.
game, so that works out really right now with our situation. So think about it if you want to back it. It's more streamlined in a way, as mentioned in the video, kanina, that you can also use your low rolls now, which is, I think, they now took into consideration. At least they consider the feedback from the players of the One Deck Dungeon series, right? Yeah. So
I have the original
see,
one. I have the original ODD. It's a good game.
yeah, yeah.
It's
Yeah,
I
I
didn't mind
mean,
the dice. That's the whole point of the game, right? People are so choosy. It's that's the whole point of the game.
yeah, you can't always have good rules.
You can't always hit the goblin. Come on, guys.
It teaches you about
In their
life, man.
universe, you can.
Oo, so
Dapat
far,
lahat crit,
lipat,
crit lahat,
kaya
crit.
lipat tayo sa space.
Yeah.
Lipat tayo.
Right.
Hindi ko matamaan yung goblin. Punta na lang tayo sa
Find
space.
something else in space. Cool.
All
Cool.
right, so that's one
And
deck
we've been talking about solo games because it's the pandemic, and you know what happened during the pandemic. There is another phenomenon that came out of the pandemic, and it involves plants. And that's what we're going to be talking about
I
in our
bought plants.
next really? Oh,
I did.
this next game might be in
The
your
next game is
wheelhouse.
up to you.
Yeah, that's why
Alright.
Ron was
Talk about-
joking. I
Yeah,
bought
yeah.
desk
Alright,
plants.
so let's watch the.
So you're a plantito now? Cool. Let's watch
I
this.
guess
Let's see.
I guess so. You could count me.
Plants give us oxygen for the lungs.
Really?
And
Where else are the oxygen gonna go, girl? Malamang sa lungs.
the most beautiful indoor environments by collecting,
Listen to our
and then surrounding
our trailer reviews, guys.
Honest reviews. Parang honest reviews.
Honest
Hey!
reaction.
simple rules that can be taught
Listening.
in just a few minutes. Let's take a look now at how it's played. First, you start with one house plant and one room card. That begins the checkerboard tableau of your home. On each turn, you'll choose a combination of card, either a room or a plant, and a token from the market.
Okay.
Players then add those pieces to their
It's a
expanding
drafting
cards
kind of game.
until they have a grid of 5
Okay.
cards.
Well.
There's a cat.
In order for plants to grow, they receive verdancy by being adjacent to favorable lighting conditions, and also from
Oh,
special
cool.
nurture items. Once you're able to complete a plant's verdancy requirements, you pot your plant and score
Plantito
bonuses.
activated.
There are 5 types of plants, each with a corresponding room type. And then there are a variety of items to collect or use. Furniture and pets will be placed on your room cards. Nurture items will help you take care of your plants. Here
my
you
God,
might
so
choose
many
this
pieces.
combination and place the room card next
Pwede
to
daw
the
mag-
plant.
Pwede daw
and
magsinungaling
the
dito,
light
Denmark.
conditions
I think this is right up your
and
alley.
then using the magic
Wow.
sofa token to complete your adjacent room coordination.
Okay.
On the next turn, you might select
Compared
this
to other
combination
games,
that
I
has the
think
aloe next to a room of the same type in
component
order to
wise,
score
okay
bonuses
lang
at the end
naman.
of the game.
Components-wise
ang
look good,
Use the
Ang
right?
ganda ng art. Ang ganda ng art,
to water
actually.
all the plants surrounding that room. Adding
Parang
verdancy
siyang
to each
wingspan of plants. Alam mo ba
Oh
yun?
my gosh.
Hey, it
Ah,
looks
yeah,
like
yeah,
it's
yeah,
completed.
Do you get what I'm saying
Time to
here?
pot it. Luckily,
Get
as you
ko
select
yun.
different cards
Meron
from the
description sa baba.
thumb token
Oo, ang
will be added
galing,
to
no?
each
It's the
card,
wingspan of
making them
plants.
available to the player who selects them as part of their pair. Spend these tokens to do special actions, like
May
allowing
thumbs
you to
up
manipulate
token,
your choice of
Chong.
cards and tokens,
That's amazing.
or to help you complete plants more quickly. Verdant includes more than 50 unique plants. The cards
50
feature
unique plants,
absolutely
Jake.
stunning artwork,
More
for
you-
so
more for you to
and
buy.
interesting
Gotta
facts
catch 'em all.
so that you can learn
Ah.
more
Hey,
about each
see?
plant's
This will be
history
a
and
really good game to
characteristics.
introduce to your plantitos and
In each
plantitas.
game of
They're
Verdant,
gonna
you'll
get
play
this
with
right away.
different combinations
Yeah.
of scoring objectives. There
I
are
have a feeling
1,000
this is gonna be a hit.
possibilities, so
I don't
each
know.
game
It's so
will be a
interesting.
brand
It reminds
new
me of
puzzle.
Wingspan and
What
how
really
popular
makes
Wingspan
Verdant
was.
stand out is how different each playthrough will be. You're creating a new home every time with different plants and different scoring conditions.
And
That's
also the
right.
models they got look like
With simple
plantitos and
rules
plantitas.
and
Just
quick
saying.
turns.
Grabe,
Players
judgment.
playing them.
Judgment.
I'm just saying.
An engaging game for players of all
Oh,
ages
grabe.
and skill levels.
So thematic. That's what I meant. Guys, putting words into my mouth.
Sinabi like walang judgment. Nice. I like this
Right.
pick.
So, if you really like how it looks, you'll not be surprised that this game comes from the minds that brought you Calico.
Oh, that's why. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. And also, the more recent title, Cascadia,
Yup.
Mm-hmm.
from Kickstarter. So, you get the feel of how flat out games make their games, even though they are what do you call this? Abstract in a way. They still put a little bit of theme in it that it works out. Na hindi
Mm-hmm.
mo siya napapansin na it's
Yeah, it looks good.
entirely abstract, right? So here,
Really looks good.
um, yeah, let me share something lang. I've been a fan of this kind of drafting game wherein you draft a group of things um, as yung nakita natin kanina, not necessarily just the one thing that you need. Diba? So kanina meron plant, tas may room, diba? And then may item sa gitna.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. So I like how that plays. Yeah. So weighing your options, whether what you need more, or I mean,
It's not
Might be
straightforward
prone.
set collection, you mean?
Might
It's
be
not
a tricky
straightforward.
yeah, it's
game.
not.
May kasamang something, sometimes may nakapatong na token, etc. That you have to
Yeah, meron things
maximize.
na
Yeah.
hindi mo necessarily
It reminds me
kailangan,
of
but you want
Walking
one.
in Burano. I don't know if you guys have played
I
that
Yeah,
haven't
small
played
game.
that.
It's kind
yeah,
also
yeah.
has that feel of the collection, and you have to hit the right combination. You don't have to,
Yeah.
but if you do, you score higher points. Something like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool,
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 cool, cool, cool, cool.
Cool
game. So,
theme. I like the theme.
Hey,
comfort.
I love
Exactly.
our crowdfunding picks because this is where I get new ideas for games. I'm actually interested in Flamecraft, and right now I'm interested in Verdun. So
Yeah.
thanks for reporting on this, guys. I'm like, hey, that looks really okay. Mental note.
Feels
Might
like
buy that.
a game that would be easily brought out on the table, diba? I
Yes.
mean,
It's wingspan.
It's so
graphics wise,
Yes, it's got the wingspan DNA. It's got the wingspan
yeah,
DNA. Right?
yeah, yeah.
Cool. So there you go. Those are our
We're done.
crowdfunding picks, and if you have anything that you want to share with us or want us to look into and have our preview comments and commentary we're doing that, just send it to us. We'll be glad to do that. But if you have news,
Yep.
we would. Yes, Rod, you were saying?
No. I'm good. I'm good.
Okay,
Did you back
so if you have news,
Flamecraft now, Denmark?
not yet, but I'm really interested.
The silent
Really good.
voice behind variable play as the variable play overlord, the great wizard behind variable play.
Hello?
Hello?
Hello, Kuya
The
Bunak.
one,
Binak mo
the
na ba,
one
Denmark?
who wants. He who should not be named. Who should not be named.
Grabe. Yan yung nagpapasweldo
I
sa
think
atin.
it's my wife. It might be my wife.
I heard the voice. I heard the voice.
Nagsalita si variable play.
Oh no.
So there you go. If you have news, please send it to us at the Variable Play page. And if you have any crowdfunder or any headlines that you think are worthy for us to discuss, hey, please give us a chat
Yeah.
or just post it there.
Share
We're
your
gonna be
pick
reading it.
and let's discuss them.
If you're
Right.
following just on on FB para makita niyo yung nagsalita si variable play.
I'm trying to find our calendar right now, but we have a few more shows coming up this week, and I know our week is gonna be busy because there are a lot of shows coming up. And tomorrow we're gonna be having open game night, and that's gonna be me, Ron Villaver, and Javi and Keo and Clint if they're gonna be coming aboard. And I think we're gonna be playing a game, the roulette. I don't know if you guys have seen our episode with the roulette, but we're gonna have a new twist with that one. So if you're interested, maybe you can check.
I want you to
check
bring
it
back. I want you to bring back the box cover art game.
Oh,
That was my favorite when somebody focused on the picture of a guy in the corner of the Puerto Rico cover.
hey, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that again. Let's see.
I really
Okay.
like that.
Hey, I got that one. Okay, now I have our calendar. And then at 9 p.m. Tonight at 9 p.m. we have board gaming with strangers. Hey,
Oh.
Ivan from
Now,
Cardboard
like-
Buzz.
Oh,
Right now.
kinain natin yung time slot niya, guys.
Hey, Hey, we're
Come
so
on, let's
sorry,
go.
but we're gonna be doing that right
We're
now.
news. We're news.
So,
Let's go.
so after this, we're gonna have that. He went on Omegle and played um, board game with strangers. So if you're interested to see, it's right after this show. Tomorrow, open game night.
OT
Overtime na.
na. OT
I
na.
guess I guess we found out who our variable play person
Tama na. Oy.
on Friday.
Correct.
We have Monkey Plays for who's gonna be unboxing the Tinder Blocks and Kitten. So if you want to see
Tinder
what that game looks like,
Tinder
and
blocks.
straight from the Meeple's mouth should be tomorrow on Friday, but we're gonna be moving to our new time slot on the first Friday of the month because we're so crowded on the last week, and we're gonna just give space. So we're gonna be reviewing next week. On Saturday we have the Tados. Hey, the Philippine Tados will have their
Yeah.
show Lingkod Likod. Posture during painting. Hey, do you think about those things?
Oh.
Right. At least they
Interesting.
do. Oh, and then
If you're thinking about posture during painting,
while
we should
you're
also
painting,
think about our postures
while
during
reporting. Okay, I thought while reporting.
while reporting and playing games.
and then solo board gamers of the Philippines will have their episode also. And Sunday, just brawling with Ron in the morning and at 8 a.m. and 9 p.m. will be heavy on Sunday night Magic. Jake, I think you're gonna be interested with that one on Sunday. So there you go. Those are our
Always.
those are our shows coming this week. If you have time, just click to Variable Play on Facebook. Pick the show that you want and enjoy. So that's it. And that's it for our news. And our director is saying we're overtime, so we have to go. Again, thank you very
Cut,
much.
cut, cut.
I'm Denmark, and right here is
I'm Jake, naglilingkod at
And I'm
overtime.
Ron. OT na. Let's go.
thank you for joining Variable Play News. See you all in 2 weeks. Bye, everybody. Keep gaming.
Bye.
Bye.